Hello everyone, welcome to Elliott Wave Forecast.com YouTube channel. My name is Henry. Today is Wednesday, April 29. The time is 2 a.m. GMT. Today we will be looking at the chart of the DAX. This is a 30 minutes chart here. So we can see the rally in the index. And by the way, this is similar to the SPX chart of the day from yesterday, so you can take a look. Um, when we do analysis and forecast, we are always looking at the correlated instrument, right? Correlation among the market and also between the same instrument in the same similar groups. They tend to correlate very well, and if you can see a couple of instruments confirming the bias, then usually that is the correct bias usually. All right, so in the DAX here, if you recall from yesterday, the SPX, we are calling from the March low after the sell-off. We have what looks to be a five-ways rally. So we're going to take a look at the DAX and see if we also can get a five-ways rally from the March low. So you can see right here, we are calling in a similar fashion. We have a wave 3 right here. Of course, this is a 30-minute chart, so you don't see all the data. But at least from this limited data here, we can see that the rally ended with 3 right here. And you can see the 4 and the 5 of 3. Alright, this is the subdivision of the 3 in the blue here. Then you got a wave 4 in the blue in the form of a ABC here, ABC. So it's a zigzag ABC finishing this 4 in blue. So now we are in the wave 5 in blue. So in other words, we also do have a 5-ways rally in the DAX. And we're going to zoom out a little bit later to see where that 5-ways is. But for now, okay, let's check out this. This is wave 3, this is wave 4. And then we have already broken above this 3. So that is in a way already confirms that we do have a 5 waves, right? Because we already break above 3 here. We can see in the subdivision here 1, 2, and then this is 3, 4, and then possibly still can see a little bit more upside to finish the 5 waves. And then from there we have a possibility to finish a 5 waves and to finish the wave 1 before we get a pullback in the wave 2. Now these 5 waves can either end it with A or with 1, right? Of course, because it is a 5 waves, it can either end with 1 or with A, which doesn't really make any difference from the short-term point of view, because whether it is a 1 or A, that implies we're gonna get another leg higher later on after the pullback here is finished. Now let's take a look from the higher degree. Now first of all though, just want to again emphasize the idea of a 5 waves rally. We should never try to fake a 5 waves rally, because a 5 waves rally can always extend as much as it wants. So there is a blue box here, but that doesn't mean okay, we're gonna end a 5 waves, therefore let's sell it. No, because 5 waves can always extend. And let me zoom out. Remember, this is the position of the 3 and 4, and then we are finishing with 5 here. So if we zoom out, now of course not all the labels here, but at least to give you ideas. This is the low after the COVID-19 sell-off, March 16. So we got this 1, 2. This is the 3 and 4 that we saw right here in the 30 minutes chart, right? So we got 3 and 4. This is your 1 and 2, and this is the subdivision of the 3 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we're finishing up with 5. Possible we can get one more push higher like what we are showing here before finishing a 5 ways up. Now, like I said, not a good idea to fade any 5 waves, because it can extend. Now, one of the requirements for 5 waves is that typically in the wave 5 you will have a momentum divergence, because at that time um, you know, it's the price will make a new high, but the momentum makes a lower high, right? So whenever the momentum starts to be erasing the divergence, for example, then in fact you should start to be cautious because if that happens, so for example, if it keeps rallying, and currently you can see the divergence clearly, even though the price makes new high, the momentum does not. So this is a good sign that this could be a wave 5. But let's say if we can continue to rally and then suddenly it breaks above this previous peak in the RSI, that could possibly do something else, and then you have to adjust the count, and then this could be a 1 in 2, for example, right? This could be a 1 in 2, and then we are already in the 3, or this could be your A and B, we're in the C, or we could be doing something else, right? So that's why the purpose of that, basically, what I said is to make sure when we see a 5 waves, whether it's up or down, we don't try to fade it, because they can always extend. All right, a 5 waves is not something you should trade the other way, because 5 waves typically is gonna be the trend, right? I mean, if you don't see the larger degree structure, but when you see a 5 wave, usually that could be the trend. Okay, so once we finish this 5 waves, you can see there is pullback to correct this cycle. Then, because of the 5 waves here, as long as we can stay above this March low here in the DAX and also S&P, and even if you take a look at other indices and check to see if they also have 5 waves up from the same March low. So when you trade SPX, don't just trade SPX, look at all the other indices, look at other stocks, look at stocks like Google and see what Google is doing from the March low. Okay, so look at a lot of things when you trade one thing, right? Because the correlation is going to help you. Now, someone was asking in the yesterday in the YouTube if we can label these 5 waves as a with C. So someone was asking, can we label? Okay, and now this is the DAX. The person was asking about SPX, but I think in a similar way, the same question can be applied here. So I mean, in this case, someone was asking, okay, can we label this? Okay, assuming this is correct 5 waves, right? Assuming this is correct 5 waves, can we label this to be wave 1? Because you have a bearish bias. A lot of people have bearish bias in the market, right? So can we label this as wave 1, and this is a flat ABC, right? Can we label this as a BC? Now, of course, when we're talking about trading or the market, anything can happen. Anything can happen, right? So therefore, it's all about probability, right? It's all about probability. Now, if we are labeling this as a flat, in my opinion, it is not really a very nice looking flat, because in order for you to label this as a flat ABC expanded flat, this A here, look at the distribution here, A versus C. The C is a lot longer in terms of price. This is very short in terms of price. This is a lot more longer in time as well, right? So this is a month. March 16 actually is more than a month already, and this is very short. This is it's not even 1 day probably, this rally here. So when you look at the distribution here, it really leads you to believe that it's not very nice to be a flat, and therefore we should follow the price action, guys, right? Not really forcing our bias and find count to justify our bias. Now, if it is 5 waves, and we see it is 5 waves, and many other indices also look like a 5 waves, and stock look like a 5 waves, and flat doesn't look to be as good, then so be it. That means this 5 waves is 5 waves, and it's either ending with 1 or it is ending with A. So if you are someone who is bearish, for example, you believe it's gonna collapse, and it's gonna be a very bearish market, for example, then at least the fact that this is a 5 waves suggests that we could be in an ABC like this, maybe retesting the high, or maybe doing another leg higher. Now the C leg in the ABC sometimes doesn't necessarily have to be equal to the A leg. Sometimes it can truncate, but still, the fact that if this is really 5 waves, that is telling you that we could see at least another leg higher. Okay, if this is correct, 5 waves, and if this is not a flat, so at the least you will get another leg higher as long as we stay above March 16. So just to give you a couple more, um, this is the SPX. Alright, this is the SPX from yesterday. So you can see same thing, 1 2 3 4 5. I think the question was, can we label this as a flat? Just the same thing. Look, how can this be, I mean, can this be a flat? No, anything is possible, but look at the distribution here. The A is so short in price and time, and this is so long in price and time. We are forcing a flat just because we want to be bearish, right? We cannot do that as a trader. We cannot do that. Now, another one, for example, take a look at Alphabet. I'm just randomly looking at, a couple of similar, stock and index. Look, 1 2 3 4 5. Now, of course, you can say, okay, everything is a flat in the whole market. Everything is a flat. Well, a flat is more like an exception, right, rather than the norm. So if someone is bearish and they think that everything is a flat, okay, so be it, right? But yeah, for now it looks like a 5 waves, and as long as we stay above this March low, we could potentially get another leg to the upside again, at least one more time, assuming it is an ABC. All right, so that's the DAX right here. Again, shorter cycle could be risky to keep chasing to the upside, but again, because of the nature of 5 waves, we need to be careful in trying to fade any 5 waves here to the upside. So hope you enjoy it. Please do like and subscribe, and also if you want to try our service, we have 14 days free trial. The link is provided in the description of the video below, and see you all again tomorrow.